I love Yahweh. For a lot of us, that feels like the most important thing we could say. And maybe right behind it comes, He knows my heart. I'm trying. I believe in Him. I want to do what's right. I'm not deliberately trying to rebel against Him. Surely that's what really matters. But there's a question we don't always stop long enough to ask. What matters to Yahweh? Not what I assume matters to Him, not what my church taught me matters most, not what another believer says He expects. What does Yahweh Himself say He requires? And amazingly, Scripture asks almost that exact question. In Deuteronomy 10:12-13, Moses says to Israel, "What does Yahweh your God ask of you?" And then he gives the answer. Fear Yahweh, walk in all His ways, love Him, serve Him with all your heart and all your soul, keep His commandments and statutes. And then comes a phrase we can easily miss, for your good. Yahweh didn't leave His people guessing about what He wanted from them. That matters because one of the easiest refuges we can hide behind is sincerity. But I mean well, Yahweh knows my heart, I love Him. And those things matter. Yahweh absolutely cares about the heart, but Scripture never presents a sincere heart as permission to redefine what faithfulness looks like. Think about it in an ordinary relationship. If someone told you, "I love you deeply, but I haven't decided for myself what loving you should look like, and I'm not particularly interested in what matters to you." Would that sound like love? Probably not. Because eventually, love has to listen. Eventually, love has to care what the other person says. And when the one we claim to love is Yahweh, that becomes even more important. He's not asking us to invent a life that seems spiritual enough. He's spoken. That can be uncomfortable because it means my intentions are not the final authority. My upbringing isn't, my traditions aren't, my feelings aren't. Even what feels loving or reasonable to me isn't. Yahweh is. And that means the question changes. Instead of only asking, am I sincere? I also have to ask, am I listening? Because Deuteronomy 10 doesn't say, what does Yahweh require of you? Just have good intentions. It doesn't say, believe the right things and then live however seems best to you. It describes a response. Fear Him, walk in His ways, love Him, serve Him, keep what He commands. Now, we could make another mistake here. We could turn those words into a new checklist. Fear, check. Walk, check. Love, check. Serve, check. Obey, check. But I don't think that's what Moses is giving Israel. And next week, we're going to slow down and look even more carefully at why. Because these aren't 5 disconnected religious assignments. They describe something much bigger about the kind of relationship Yahweh is calling His people into. But before we unpack that, we have to let the first truth land. Yahweh has the right to define the response He wants from His people. That sounds obvious, but it reaches into places we may not want it to reach. Because if Yahweh gets to define what He requires, I can no longer stop it. This is what I've always believed. Or everyone I know does it this way. Or even, I just don't feel convicted about that. Those answers may tell me something about myself. They don't necessarily tell me what Yahweh has said. And this is where Scripture becomes more than something we read for encouragement. It becomes the place where we discover the King, His ways, His character, His expectations, His boundaries, and His invitation. Notice again how Deuteronomy 10 ends this statement, for your good. That changes the tone completely. Yahweh's commands are not the demands of a king trying to make his people miserable. They come from the one who knows what is good, the one who brought Israel out, the one who provided for them, the one who remained faithful even when they were not. And now He tells them what life with Him looks like. So perhaps the question isn't how little can I do and still belong to Yahweh? And it isn't how much do I have to do so Yahweh will love me? Neither one captures what Moses is saying. The better question is, if Yahweh has told me what He desires from His people, am I willing to hear Him? Before defending what you already do, before deciding what applies, before explaining what you were taught, just hear him. That's the first step. So, sometime this week, open Deuteronomy 10 and read verses 12 and 13 slowly. Don't begin by trying to explain every word. Just notice what Yahweh says. And ask one simple question. Yahweh, have I been letting you define what you require? Or have I been assuming I already know? Because he knows my heart is true. But Yahweh knowing our hearts should not keep us from wanting to know his. And he has told us where to look. Next, we're going to take those words, fear, walk, love, serve, and obey, and ask what they reveal about the kind of life Yahweh actually desires, because his answer is much bigger than a religious checklist. It's a way of walking with him.